for sticking around for the intermediate training. We're going to just get more and more concentrated as we move up the levels. And that's just part of the deal, right? We'll have more and more people interested in basics, and then as we get to intermediate and advanced, just for the high-level players, and I am totally okay with that. I actually enjoy the concentrated feel, really good deep. 5 through 8 is what we're focusing on today. So let's focus on the outline for now, and then we will, as things get more complicated, we will go ahead and take more notes and write things out and have that discussion. So Bob, I like it when the stools are like all the way to the edges, unless you're using it for something.
I didn't hear you.
Can you please move the stool all the way to the edge and get everything out of the way so we're ready? Thank you, honey. So dynamic strength. So intermediate has a lot more engagement and has a lot more intensity for the body in a good way. It's helping us really come into the core of our being. So core strength is not just our belly. Core strength is our whole spine and the intrinsic muscles around the spine. And so you'll hear me referring to certain things like that. Everybody knows what intrinsic muscles means, and I usually will use language and then just look for facial expressions if somebody's like, So the smaller muscles that are closer to the bones are the ones that we use for leverage, where the larger muscle groups are more towards the extremities, are more towards the outer layers. So the ones to the closest layer, and they're usually smaller, and they're the ones that get not engaged or weaker when the large muscles are engaged. So it's usually one or the other, and we have to plug the bones in and create alignment for the intrinsic muscles to turn on. And we'll be giving lots of examples like that. We kind of touched upon it in some of the basic stuff. So we're going to start out in, if you guys are ready. Yep. We're going to start out in floating Buddha. So why don't we go ahead and pop up into the swing and just start practicing today. Sound good? Yes. Is that better? Wait, let it down. Okay. Just background music. So putting the swing behind the upper back, below the broad line. Okay. Make sure it's not tangled up. That's one thing that I haven't really talked much about. So there is an inseam, and then there is like an outer part of it. So you guys can identify, like there's like a little opening, like a little taco here. So that's the inseam. Does that make sense? Yeah. So some people, especially when they're trying to get into cocoon, they might have it turned over. I just like to, like a taco, you're going to want to open it up that way. Okay, so go ahead and sit down into the sumo squat. I typically go right into, you want to bring your swing up?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Deborah? Yeah.
I brought it down on purpose.
Yeah, that's a little too low. So level, knees level with the hips level with the knees. That's where we want it. And socks off if you can. It's not a big deal, but just slow so we don't slip and slide. Are you still chilly? We're gonna warm up quick.
Does this look right?
That looks good. You wouldn't want to go any lower than that for sure. You go for it. See what everybody else. So the swings just grow, as we begin to use them, because like I said, every one of these swings was fresh from the factory. So they'll just naturally have more buoyancy to them. So sit-ups and leg stretches, that's what we're focusing on for number 5. Can have you guys glance at the outline? 5A, could be. Okay, great. I normally just kind of go right into it, and then I realized you were like, oh crap, when I'm doing the training. So we're going to warm up nice and slow. So we're going to go ahead and take the leg loop with both hands, put that behind the ankle. So you'll notice, because the swing is stretching, you might need to bring the leg loops down. Like I wouldn't have my leg loops any higher than this. Okay, that's as high as I would have them. I could bring them down, but not up.
Do you think that like foot to shoulder is a good marker?
That's a little high, but the shoulder's a little high. It's like basically, well,
I guess ankle to shoulder or ankle to armpit. What would be a good visual cue?
Ankle to armpit would be fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually I measure everything with the heart. So
Heart sounds nice with the armpit.
Yeah, I do. I usually do heart to ankle, It's just personal preference. It's like everyone will find their own language, but that looks good. So Bobby, you could bring your leg loops down, but you wouldn't bring them up. Yeah, it's up to you. Just say it. Whee! So what's this called? Windshield wiper. Windshield wipers. Is everyone starting to feel comfortable with the names? Slowly. Yeah. Say them out loud when we're talking about it. Just repeat it. Because it really helps. So sometimes I'll go through a whole sequence and I'll have you guys repeat after me, and it's not like trying to dumb it down or something. It just really helps to do the movement, hear it, and then say it. Just kind of start submitting it a little bit more.
Are windshield wipers only in floating Buddha, or windshield wipers can be found in other positions as well?
Good question. Windshield wipers is only found with the leg loops at the ankles. When the leg loops are at the knees, it's called something else.
Chillaxin?
That's the pose, but when you sway from side to side, it's called
Swagger.
Swagger.
Behind the knees, swagger.
I use swag or swagger in almost all the poses. Windshield wipers is specifically to this pose because it looks like windshield wipers, right? Straight legs, and they're going. Depends on your growth. Okay. So for the first, let's come to center. Let's just do a little bit of a back bend here. So chillaxin arms is a good way to support the neck, or star. Just take a moment to warm up the spine. 5 breaths wherever you are, maybe swim it out. Just kind of play a little bit in the space. So we're not going to go upside down right away. I tend to just like kind of rush into 5, and like I said, I'm slowing it down. I'm not reviewing per se, I'm just giving us a little moment to warm up. Okay, so we are going to switch to the leg loops at the arches of the feet. You can. Okay, fully extend the legs, squeeze them together. This is going to be the row. I'm not going to do these in the exact order because I don't want to put you upside down quite yet. So this is rowing. So in rowing, I'm going to start out in ladle. I'm going to hold on to the swing, lean back, stretch the head down towards the ground. Swing is going to go into the low back waist. And now I'm going to do a crunch. So I'm going to pull my knees towards my nose and do a little sit up. Now I fully extend, I slide my hands back down. So come on up, crunch, and notice this is, just watch me for a second in the crunch. My hands are going to slide up and down. I'm not going to pull with my hands and keep my elbows bent. Just kind of noticing that if we use the hands, which would be okay to assist if the core wasn't strong enough, then we're not using a core. Yeah, so rowing. So if you do 50 of these every day, you're set. These are amazing. I'm serious. 10 doesn't really do it, but 50 will. You do 10 of the plain toe touches, you're set. But these ones are like the easier core strengtheners. So just notice that if you use your hands, it's easier. If you let your hands slide up and down and keep your arms straight, it's more challenging, right? Nice, so that's the rowing. Now let's just go ahead, just say we were teaching and we forgot to move the leg loops to the arches of the feet. Let's try it and notice why they need to be on the arches. So it's okay to go into ladle and then decide to do some core strengthenings and like say we forget, and then we'll just notice what happens, okay? So go ahead and lean back into ladle and then try to pull the knees in and row. And then extend. So it's possible, but do you know, can you tell that you don't get as much control?
Yeah, a little bit more loose.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much of push-pull or traction with the legs. So go ahead and just switch with your feet. Practice switching, yeah. And then try it again. And just notice the difference because you can push your feet down a little bit more strongly there. And I feel like you have better control that way. Okay. If somebody is more beginner level, go ahead and just spread those out and then give it a try. Come back up, spread out the leg loops from the arch of the foot all the way to the calf. We're just playing with the different variations so you can get a feel for it. Okay, legs still stay squeezed together. Is everyone warm now? I can close the windows if not, but I figured, well, as soon as we get the fire and the belly going. Okay, so again, this is an easier version. This would be for more beginner. So the leg loops spread out There's not as much control or engagement through the legs. Okay. And you're going to come back up. Windshield wiper it up. Those are the easy ones. Like my eye.
I think I ate too recently.
Yeah, that's why we're not going upside down yet. I realize this whole timing thing is going to be tricky, and it's okay. I wound up running around getting food and didn't eat. I was like, huh, and I'm like, well, that was probably a smart idea anyhow. I tend to eat too much if I eat at 11. But just in case you guys just ate, I figured we would just chill it. All right, so from rowing, we're going to go into the leg stretches, the upright leg stretches. We're going to pop around a little with number 5. I'm just going to remind you that I'm not doing them in the exact order, just to give you guys a break, and then we will be doing everything upside down. Leg stretches in the upright position, intense under the arms. Okay, we're going to do a wide straddle, grab the toes. It's okay to do a happy baby if somebody's really tight. It's also okay to pull on the leg loops. One side easier, both sides a little bit harder. Okay, so try the variations, even if you're flexing, so you know what your person's experiencing. Yeah, peoples, and then of course we can always thread. Right? Get good practice with making the X. Good. Okay, so from there, wherever you are, go ahead and just windshield wiper a little bit. Okay. So from here, we're going to go right into bow and arrow. So we're going to bend the left knee and extend. It's okay to do this at the toes too if you're really flexing. And then go ahead and extend. So even if somebody has a little bit of an injury, they can still do all this. We would just help them out by expanding the leg loops as much as they need to feel supported through the lower leg.
What about people who have hamstring attachment injuries?
Well, I mean, typically if you have it like this, with the knees bent, it's going to be totally fine on the hamstring. Just tell them to keep the knees bent, you know. You have to just adjust it for each person. I mean, we could go through the whole list, you know, the whole hamstring, butt attachment, that one, you know, that whole thing. So yeah, it's an experiment. Each pose can be adjusted. So let's go ahead and take a break with the arms. If you want, go ahead and spread it out a little and try doing the variations from here. So we're not going to put it over the shoulders, we're just going to keep it spread out. Okay. You'll notice it'll bunch up on its own, but at least you got a little break. Okay. So let's take that from the top. Wide straddle T. Go ahead and grab the toes. Drop the hips. Good. Now we're going to squeeze the legs together and drop in for a forward fold. That's really intense, right? We're squeezing, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now bend the knees and go ahead and reach for the outer edges of the feet for bottom. So in this pose, some people are super flexy and are going to try to get their feet over their head. Most people are just going to kind of round in a little. And then go back to wide. Isn't that great? Yeah, just try dropping a little bit more. So very, very few poses will actually encourage you to round your back, but this is one of them where we can actually like tuck in. It's like a turtle. Okay, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Woo! Yeah, a little shirt makes a big difference. Go ahead and round in. Pull your feet towards the crown of the head. Amazing, huh? You can go so much further because gravity's pulling your hips down for you. Does that feel okay? You're like, eh. All right. Make any adjustments if you need to. Let's go ahead and try our bow and arrow again. So I like bow and arrow a lot. It's really fun and playful. They're stretching the hips, which is really the point and purpose, but it's giving them something to focus on, shooting arrows out of their foot instead of how tight their legs are. So I do this one a lot with people.
I feel like mine are really tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good for performance too.
Yeah, it's creating a really deep rotation in the hip socket for the femur. It's really amazing. Okay, go ahead and chillax it out with the arms, and if you want to do just hands and shake out the fingers, that's okay too. Everybody warming up? Feeling warm?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the core strengthening now. So we'll go a little bit upside down, just a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, so typically what I do is I lean back into ladle. I bring my legs wide. I bend my knees. I switch so my hands grab the leg loops and I keep my legs wide. Can you guys get into that position?
Talk us through it.
Yeah. I just again, it's okay. So this is the trick. So come on up and just watch again, and then we'll do it together and I'll talk you through it. So from ladle, just watch for this first one. I let my hands slide down, and then I'm going to move my legs wide. I bend my knees so I can reach my leg loops. It's really important to get this into a good spot before you bring your legs around, because once your legs are around, it's not going to happen. So make sure that feels good. Bring your legs wide. You have to bend your knees so you can reach the leg loops. And then it's a bicep curl. Keep the legs wide. If that's too much, keep the legs wide. You hook them in front. So this is the front plane of the body. Face, chest, back plane, side plane. We're going to start learning the planes of existence, because when we go upside down, it's confusing. From there, we're going to do bicep curls and crunch. Okay? So feel free to get there if you can. So the trick here is from ladle, keep holding onto the swing. Keep holding onto the swing. Bring your legs wide, and then bend your knees so your feet are in the front plane and grab for the leg loops. Really good. So grab, yeah. So the swing will not adjust when you're upside down. So you have to adjust it in ladle. So come on back if you need to adjust the swing. Just shimmy a little from side to side. Yeah. Go ahead and grab the leg loops. Do a crunch to grab the leg loops. Good. I'm going to face the same direction as you guys. Cool. So now we're going to do bicep curls. So you're going to do a sit-up bending at the hip flexors, not the waist. See if you can feel the difference. If you need to come up because you're digesting, it's totally okay. Take a little break when you need. So these ones are medium, where you're looking up towards the sky to keep your head in line with your body. So you're lifting the heart, and then you're deepening at the hip.
So the thighs maintain contact with the swing?
No. You're coming to a flat body.
Okay.
If your thighs maintain contact, you'd be crunching at the waist. So we're bending at the hip flexors for this one. Okie dokie. So from here we're going to balance. So that means we're going to bring the legs straight up and down. My body stays level with the earth. This is where people are usually like this. So your body stays level with the earth. And then you're going to scissor kick. So you come back up, come down, come up, down. So you can you come down when you kick, and then you come up to crunch. So if you can do 10, would be ideal. Warming up. And then we're going to balance. So come up for a second and watch. So to take a little break anyhow. So in balance, so whenever I have my leg back, it's called lotus. So half lotus, it's like a bow. And I'm pulling with my arms. So when I pull with my arms, it's helping me balance. These are really important. These are our anchors. And I come up and I crunch. So from scissor, balance. Lotus. Okay? And then we always scissor kick down so we don't like plop when we come from an inversion. So go ahead and balance. I'm going to help you. It's okay to take a break. We'll come back to it.
With the scissor kicks, one leg is always towards the ceiling.
Yeah, it's not towards the ceiling. It's actually on an angle.
So you bend the back one.
Arch to balance. Yeah, like that. Go ahead and try it. Come on. And then balance is when you bend one knee and hold it. The top leg stays straight, the bottom leg bends. It's like a half bow. Top leg stays straight, bottom leg bends. Switch. Yep, bottom leg bends. Up. There you go. So this has to come forward to balance and then arch. Yeah, so you're going to find that pivot point at the hips. So you're now switch legs, top leg straight. Good guys. Hard, huh?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So much engagement. So the balance with the half lotus is really only for a couple people in class. Most people are going to be like, oh, falling over. But it's good. It's so straighten arms if you can, the balance and arch. So bring one leg down and bend the knee, and then straighten your arms and arch. Yes, there it is. I know you can find the balance. Yeah. Good. Nice, guys. Okay, good. So those are the hard sit-ups. Now we're going to do medium sit-ups, okay? So we're going to get there from when I was kind of swinging my legs together. It's like, which one are we going to do first? So let's do from our floating Buddha. We're going to get into another version of the plank toe touches, okay? So let's just say we're here. And we were upside down, grabbed with our hands, and then you can, so we were in balance, right? Yes. And then you can wrap the leg around. Let's go ahead and wrap the left leg around, and then come to sit. So when we come to sit, the leg loops are in our hands, okay? Left leg stays wrapped. Right foot is going to come out and like trace the mat like it's a clock, so your foot's going to come out to 9 o'clock. The other way, honey. Is that 9 o'clock for you? It's 3 o'clock. I'm just making sure. I can tell time. Cool. So we're straight up and down. So drop your hips a little bit more. Straight up and down with the body.
So my hips should be more towards the center.
It's more the upper body. So just drop straight down. So we're not going to come to stand to make the adjustment, so we want to be able to do it from where we're hanging.
I know, just for this first one, I'm trying to figure out where you want me to be.
So go ahead and go back. So reverse it, right? So just the left leg stays hooked. Yeah, and then the foot just kind of lands. Bottom leg can be bent, so it's not so engaged. I'm sorry, top knee can be bent, so it's not so engaged. Bottom leg straight out to the side. So this leg's relaxed.
Some balls, though. Do I have an extra loop or something?
So just get comfortable in it. So bottom leg is straight, it's out to the side, and just kind of hang your hips a little bit more into it. I think it's the hip thing that will just open up. Yeah, because this is a big stretch right here. So the foot isn't hooked, it's just sitting in front. It doesn't go anywhere. That's the problem. Like that. So whenever we get like a little like wrestling with it, we just kind of slow it down. So this foot is just relaxed. Like that. Yeah.
And then it just naturally bends, I don't like.
You can bend it, it's okay. So everybody else is just like that a little bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks good. Feels a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
So some of the poses when we're hanging, like we're gonna acrobatics, we'll wrap like that. But for this one, we want to encourage people to sink in, and then our head is actually just sitting on the side of the swing. So leg wraps. So it doesn't hook; it's just there. Okay. So it's more like at the calf, yeah, than the back thing. If we bend the knee, then yeah, that would be fine. So I just let it slide. Cool. Okay, let's just chill. So integration, right? If we ever do anything intense, like we work with the core, then we just drop it. So for some groups, I would just kind of feel them, and I would skip the inverted sit-ups because they would just like get them a little frazzled, and we would just go into these ones. So good. So we're also getting a great stretch to the side body, a great stretch to the leg, and we're just dropping. Okay, great. We're going to lean back. So my right hand is just going to lean back and hold on to the swing. The swing isn't going diagonal. It's going from my armpit kind of towards the bottom of the left ribs. So it's going to be on the back like that. That's what we're going to balance on. So what we do is we pick up the right foot, we lean back and extend the left arm. So kind of get into a comfortable spot. Flat body. And then go ahead and exhale toe touches. So inhale, expand. Exhale, toe touches. Good. So go ahead and drop that right hip when you come up so your toes can touch your fingertips. Yeah, drop your hip a little bit more, Kyler. Okay. So hold on to your toes when you get to the top and pull the foot down. And then that, so that deepens in the hip crease here. And that allows us to keep a flat body. And then we expand. And then go ahead and crunch. Yeah, so the toes get closer to the hand that way. Good. So we're just retraining the body to bend at the hip flexor instead of the waist. And then all of a sudden, the leg is as long as the torso, so the fingers can touch. And then after your last one, go ahead and do dancer. So we hold on strongly with the right arm. Go ahead and do a big arch. Oh, so good. Stretch the neck out a little here. So in dancer pose, we have not as much engagement, right? Dancers tend to be more flexy. So let's go ahead and try just 5 toe touches from dancer. So go ahead and squeeze on the exhale, come on up. Back to dancer. Squeeze. So grab your toes, flex your foot so you get that hip flexor. And then go ahead and expand. Go ahead and toe touch. Expand. All right, and then after your last one, what we're going to do is bend the right knee. Go ahead and either just bring your hands behind your head and pull straight down. Or you can go for one foot or both feet. So this is another form of half lotus, right? When you bend, the leg up. Big stretch for the belly. So we open up the belly after we do all the crunching. Okay, this is how we switch sides. We wrap both legs around. Stick that right leg out to the side. Go ahead and wrap it. Left leg extends. Swing it out. And then come to sit. There you go. So the foot can stay relaxed. It doesn't have to hook. There you go. Okay, relax. Woo! Triple burners. Activate. Good. See if the side body stretch can just happen for you here. Right? The swing can be a little intense on the kidneys and everything, so just make sure that you get it into a spot that feels nice. Nice, guys. So all of the core activation is preparing the body to have strong engagement when we get into superfly and some of the flips that we learned today. We only do one really cool pose. We do roundhouse flip too, but really so we're building up for superfly. Everything we're doing is preparing us for that. So now we have the right foot out. I can hang out here for quite a while with my peeps. I can also bend. Try bending the left knee and grabbing the foot. So that's a nice quad stretch. Yeah, you can pull the knee up to get it, and then push it down. Nice. That's also fun if you're with some more playful people and they want to just hang. And it's a great stretch. Go ahead and expand again. So first thing I do is start to lean back, and my left hand is my anchor. Okay? And then from there, I go ahead and expand through the right leg, right toes, right fingertips. Excuse me, left toes, right fingertips. Get the diagonal. So I'm wiggling the swing into a good spot. Can you find a spot that feels good? And then plank toe touches. Nice. If you want, you can hook your toes here, Kyra. Would you feel more comfortable wrapping your foot around? There you go. Good. 10 if you can. Only do 5 if you want to relax. So we're in plank, so don't go to dancer yet. Plank is when you have a flat body with the earth. It's more the Pilates version. It's a little bit harder. It's a full body engagement. You can see my dancers are like, okay, I'm good. Then try dancer. It feels really good, right? We're a big belly stretch. So nothing fancy yet, just straight arm, straight leg, really holding on with the left hand, right? Stretch out the neck. Turn the right ear to the right shoulder. Take a breath, should feel good. Okay, so dancer toe touches, go ahead and come on up. Big oomph, right? Do an exhale and then inhale, expand. Exhale. We're gonna squeeze. Go ahead. Inhale and exhale at your own pace. If you can do a couple more. If you do it really fast, then you have an amazing workout. And then from there, bend the knee. Go ahead and hang. So this is totally okay. Some people don't like grabbing the back foot. Both of my hands are just clasped behind my head. Pulling the foot in, and then you can hold on with one hand or both hands to come into half lotus. Got a big belly stretch. So we're not just trying to look pretty, we're actually stretching, stretching the core and the part of the body that we were just contracting, so we keep it all in balance. Okay? So we're gonna just come on down from here. So instead of wrapping both legs around, we're gonna release the right foot. Okay. See if you can. Everyone's awake now. It's kind of unfair because I always know what's coming next. So I'm just mentally preparing this morning for getting the energy up.
No, this was so good today, this one.
I love this
This
one.
one was good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So do your favorite pose after doing something that's like, you know, I won't say unpleasant, just say intense. I love all the core stuff myself, but you can tell by people's faces it's not their favorite, so raspberries are also good. Purring. Earrings. Okay. I'm going to turn around. So if you guys want to turn around, just come on out for a second. Give back some love. Oh, look, there's a person. That's always fun. Cuckoo nuts. They're cuckoo for coconuts. Okay, we're going to do all the leg stretches upside down. If you need a little break, you can just watch for this one. It's the same sequence with revolver added in. So I'm going to get the swing to the waist. Let's go ahead and start from floating Buddha since we're used to doing it that way. You can do it from the ground, but go ahead and, like, let's say we were teaching number 3. And you could tell by their faces they wanted to take a break from the underarms. So you're going to come through ladle. So remember I stopped the vinyasa flow from here and I said it's a half flow. So we're going to learn the other half of the vinyasa flow today. Bring the legs wide. It's really important to bend the knees in front. Most people are going to be stuck behind like this. Really get them in front. Okay, so after doing all of our yummy core stuff, keep the legs wide. We're going to do wide straddle. So from the wide straddle, it's not like this, right? It's like this. So see if you can arch and open and pull. If that's too much, the back of the legs are okay, but just keep the chest open. Do you know what I mean? So make sure the hip flexors are the pivot point instead of the waist. Bend at the waist, it strains the lower back. Okay, from here we're going to squeeze in. This is like an intense thigh master. And then we bend out, grab the feet. So it's an upside down Baddha, similar to acro yoga that way. And then I switch to toes for bow and arrow. Okay. So go ahead and start facing back to back in floating Buddha, and we'll go over that.
That was bow and row, you said the last time.
Bow and arrow. It's like shooting an arrow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Bow and
I'm
arrow.
all with bow and row. I didn't hear that before.
Start off back to back.
Okay.
So that way when we go upside down we can see each other.
Oh, so got it.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. All right. So we're just going to do this for just a couple minutes and come back up because you'll feel all the blood rushing to your face. We haven't done a bunch of inversions yet, so we're going to learn them in number 6. So we'll come into inversion, take a break, come into inversion, take a break. We won't be there for too long, okay? Just a little FYI, like how long is this bus ride? Or how much further? Okay. Okay, good. So squeeze the legs together. Let's go ahead and lift the hips and lean back into ladle. We all know this one really well now, right? Holding on to the swing, wiggle it. So getting the swing into the sweet spot for this one is really important. So go ahead and figure that out. So lower on the hips is better. Okay? Hold on. Go ahead and open up wide. We're going to skip the sit-ups unless you guys want to do it again. You good? Okay, so you have to bend your knees into the front of the body. Grab for the toes. The toes feel really far away. So bend your knees to get there. Bend the knees. Good.
I just want to stay here for the next half hour.
I'm so glad to hear it. Wide straddle T. Hold on to your toes the whole time.
That hurts my hips.
Okay. Yeah, adjust it. Yes. So you have to get those leg loops on. Okay. So notice that if you lift the chest, it's a totally different pose. Not the head, the chest. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Go ahead and come into bottom. Nice. So outer edges of the feet feels a little bit better, but you can always hold on to the toes the whole time. Sometimes the toes need a little break. Lift the chest. Lift the chest. So when you lift the chest, your head pushes down towards you. Yeah. Good. Knees wide if you can. What's happening over there? Okay, so go ahead and straighten them out again. Squeeze! Oh my god! Yeah. Oh my god! At least I like it. Woo! Me and Suzanne Summers are like the only ones. Okay.
No, I definitely shouldn't be.
I'm never eating again. Padakonasana. Switch. Just one more round. Sometimes we do this 3 rounds.
This is fun.
Extend. Squeeze. Now you're spring loaded, right? All right, switch the toes if you like. Bow and arrow, let's go. I believe it's to your left. I'm not quite sure anymore. All right. Right leg straight. To the purple wall. You see purple wall.
Purple head for me.
Go ahead.
I'll take back that.
All right. All right, so now either watch or go into revolver. So you release the left, hold on to the right. So this hand can go overhead. It can go overhead. Try each one. Or you can grab for the foot and twist. It seems so far away. Good. Nice. If this leg is bent, it's a little harder, but if it's straight, that's okay. That's great, guys. Okay, release slowly. Again, spring loaded. Switch sides. Bend the right knee. So some people are just going to go like this, right? That leg seems really far away. I like this one because it's kind of going on a diagonal. Kind of feels good. Nice. You can reach for the toes. This way is also nice, right? We're opening up the side body. So amazing, right? Such a big stretch. Nice, guys. Breathe. If you can reach for the foot, go ahead and reach for the outer foot and twist. Oh, it's very far. Thanks. Okay. Spring loaded, release slowly. So reach up for the swing. Et voila. Back. Floating a bit. Hips down, head up. Oh, stay where you are. We're going to be back to back, but that's okay. You can lip sync all your curse words at me and I won't even notice. No, I think that was fun. I really like the inversions, but they get some getting used to.
Yeah.
But just feel the rush of energy through your body now, right? We are alive. I might be able to open up the sliding glass door and everything. All right, let's come on down. Let's take a little break before we go back into the inversions. You guys want to try the upright leg stretches again? This is a little review now.
Okay.
Yes.
It's so interesting learning upside down.
Do you
Where my brains go?
The brain is creating all new circuitry. It's really fun. And every single person is just like, where am I? What's happening? Where am I going? Where do they come from? It's totally normal. Okay? Yeah. Next time I'll,
Digestion.
For the next couple days, we're going to be doing a lot of inversions. So 10 a.m. is the cutoff for food. Seriously. I know it's really hard to eat that early sometimes with planning, but let's just do the best we can and we'll nibble. Yeah. So mainly I go into like just having like kefir, yogurt, and like liquids and stuff, but we'll get there. It's okay. We are taking it easy today, I promise. Okay, let's try it again. Let's just come into our floating Buddha. Let's see if you can get there. Cue yourself, like say it in your head. See, now that one seems so easy. We've done it so many times. It's just repetition. It's going to be like that with all the poses. At first, it's like, what? Okay, good. Windshield wipers. Take your time. Okay, so from our whole number 3 sequence, we could go right into these like stretches. They're similar to what we did. It's just more of a focus. A little bit harder too, because not everybody's going to want to do this one. It's going to be intense under the arms. That's why we do it upside down. That's why I do them upside down. And you're using gravity to stretch the legs. Open up the chest still. Notice it's a tendency to round in here. Okay? Go ahead and come into the bottom. Beautiful. Feet over the head. Go ahead and straighten them out. Spring loaded. So we're holding on the whole time, honey.
I thought we had options to put a variation.
Yeah, but she let go altogether.
Oh.
She's all like this. Oh, yeah. She's like, oh yeah, I put them over my head. Oh, my legs. I thought you meant my head. Put something over your head. Whatever it is. Okay, yes, we have options though. Options. Lots of options. Go here. Let it feel good. Let this be the playful pose. Even if the hips are tight. Shoot the energy out your toes. Not at your neighbor. Not at your neighbor.
So don't lift the hips and you do that?
Well, you can lift the hips a little because you're tilting not that much. Like,
It's not like that.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Okay.
let it be about this knee opening. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you're trying to line up your toes. Or just, do whatever. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Okay, good. Revolver from here. We didn't do this last time. Let's go ahead and just let go for a second. Bend the left knee in. So you have to press this down so this leg is really engaged. Go ahead and reach right hand, right foot. Now this hand can just go overhead and make sure this stays engaged. Left side is engaged. Can you feel how you have to push down to get the twist? Okay. Some people don't do that. You can see just it doesn't really work.
That feels so good.
Right? Thanks. I'm so glad that's what I mean. Can you grab the foot in this one? Yeah. Yeah, good. That would be a little bit better. So just do like a motion towards, left hand goes towards the right foot. It doesn't have to reach. But for those that want to come into the full pose, it feels really good to open the chest towards the sky. I have to push down strongly with the left foot. Knee stays open. Beautiful, guys. Amazing. Okay? Sway it out whenever we do something intense like that or engaging, dynamic. All those words are intertwined, then we just sway it out. Let the hips get a little bit of break. So can you feel that you get a lot of openness without a lot of crunching in that one? On the floor, it's very crunchy to the side body. And that really kept this spacious. Okay, let's go ahead and bend the right knee. This leg stays really engaged. I'm going to reach my left hand towards my foot. You can bend the knee to get there. Once you're there, right arm's going to swim up and overhead. Now this might be as far as most people go. And then if you can, try to get both hands on the outer edge of the foot. Twist the chest towards the sky. You have to push down into the right leg a lot to get it. Nice. Awesome. Really slowly. Spring loaded. Beautiful, guys. Does that feel great?
Ooh, I like that one.
That's beautiful.
Awesome. So frog swim. Before I can, we can all stay in the same direction. I'm just going to turn around for you. So before we can get into some of the inversions, we already kind of went through them with the leg stretches and sit-ups. But for those who are really new to inversions, they're going to have trouble getting their legs up over their heads. So this is how we practice. So I like to come through ladle. Watch for the first one. So changing planes. So when you guys do it so easy, I forget that I have to really explain it with more detail. So if my fingers are pointing behind me towards my toes, this is my back plane. My hands and my feet are going to do the same thing. My feet are going to come out wide, and this is my side plane. Okay? This is my front plane, so when I bring my fingers forward, I have to bring my toes forward so they can touch. Okay, so this is called the frog swim. Side plane, back plane, I can even bend. So this is how I start to try and teach people how to change planes of existence, because they're going to get stuck right about here. Okay? Almost everybody. So we have to let the hips kind of tuck there. See, my hip flexors are now pointing down towards the ground, and then I can bend the knees. So try the frog swim a couple times. It feels really good too. Swim it out. Start out in the ladle. Legs squeeze together. Put your fingers behind you. Point towards your toes. Behind you, underneath your butt. Yeah, point. So don't release the fingers. Yeah. Okay, now bring your legs out wide. Bring your fingers out wide. Yeah, just use your pointers, please. Go in the air. And then go ahead and point in front of you. And then point towards your toes. I know. Down. Down. Feet down. Point. Grab your toes. Straight legs. Grab your toes. Down. Yeah, keep your legs down the whole time. Bring them out wide. So you can release. Bring them out wide. And then back behind you. There you go. Good. So that's the tricky part. Is people bring their feet up towards the sky, and we need to bring them down towards the mat. Yeah, to touch the toes. The only way you can touch your toes is to bring them down. So that's how I figured out how to teach people is through a frog swim. Do it a couple times. It should feel good once you get it. Nice. Ooh. Yeah. Try to keep tension on the leg loops the whole time. They'll want to start to float up. Yeah, nice. Come on up. Oh, all right.
Oh, wow. That's a little challenging.
Oh, well, that's why we waited to the intermediate. It's the challenging sequence. All right, go ahead and do some freestyle. Just stretch it out a little. So that's all of number 5, kitties. We made it. We made it through 5.
Woo!
All the 5 is a preparation to get the legs open, to get the core strength, so we can come into some of the more advanced stuff. Okay. Okie dokie, number 6. You can turn the page. I don't need to. We're all on one page. Number 6 is the inversions. So from here, we're going to move from our floating Buddha. All the sequences. Go through ladle. Make sure you get the swing into the sweet spot. Hold on to the swing and wiggle from side to side. Make sure you know how to lift one hip and then the other hip. Get the wiggle. Awesome. From there, you bring my legs wide and around. Okay. Peaceful warrior is when you have your elbows bent. Bring your swing up if you need to.
Should my head not be on the
Your
ground?
head can touch the ground, but you need to have like a little bit of space because you don't want to crunch the neck. So go ahead and bring it up, Amy.
Okay.
And just one. You'll be glad to have a little bit of space. So Bob, you're just right, but I wouldn't want it any larger. Could you stop pushing your hands in so I can see?
Yeah, no, sorry.
Okay. So your neck's a little crunch. Go ahead and bring it up. See, my head is just barely touching.
You need this hair.
It's nice. So what we want to do is create a long side body in the inversion. So if our head is crunched or our neck is crunched, then we're not getting that nice lengthening and floating through the torso.
massaging my traps.
Oh, totally. Yeah, we do yoga massage in the second module with the therapeutics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
We're coming back.
There you go. Plenty of fire out now.
Much better.
Good. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to bring it up. Sometimes it's good to bring it up. Okay, great. All right. So we're just like waiting upside down, but I'm okay with it if you're okay with it. Okay, so we're moving that out of the way. All right. So peaceful warrior is passing the elbows and just hanging, just feeling peaceful. Why don't you guys start back to back so when we're upside down we see each other? Okay? So come into your floating Buddha facing away from me. Just for this sequence, it's really helpful. So let's go ahead and start out back to back in floating Buddha. Just take a moment here. Back to back. Yeah, when we're upside down,
Come on,
we
turn
want to
around.
see each other.
Come on.
It's good. Just take a little break. For a sec.
So much blood rushing.
I know.
We learned. Yeah.
After we learn this little inversion sequence, we're going to go through the vinyasa flow. It'll be really nice to review that. Are we in floating Buddha? Okay, good.
Getting there.
So floating Buddha is when you're seated and the leg loops are at the ankles. Okay, let's all do this together. So squeeze the legs together. Go ahead and hold on to the swing. Press up, come through ladle. So in ladle, it's really important to take the time to wiggle it. Get the swing in the sweet spot and spread it out a little if that feels a little bit more comfortable across your hips. Okay, legs come wide. Wrap in front. You can just leave the leg loops exactly as they are. We're not going to use them right now. So there should be this amazing traction happening. And then if we just clasp our elbows, this is peaceful warrior. Say that loud. Say it. Peaceful warrior.
Peaceful warrior.
Everyone's like happy warrior, peaceful Buddha. Where are we? We're going to mix it up. Okay. So this is our number one inversion. So all of the upright positions are in the basic. All of the inversions are in the intermediate. Getting the hang of that.
Question.
No pun intended. Pun intended.
On the tailbone, you're tucking it or letting it arch?
I'm spreading my legs and I'm pressing my. I don't really. So focus on your pubic bone. Nobody actually says the pubic bone. It's like this little press your pubic bone forward. Leave your tailbone alone. Right?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm like tailbone. It's just hanging up back there, relaxed. How are you, little tailbone? Now this is the part of the body that's engaged. It's a little different than pushing the tailbone forward. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I mean, I know they're right there, interacting, but we want to relax the lower back so the front is engaged. Okay.
Like an opening of the womb.
Yeah, it feels so good. The whole pelvis girdle. Okay, so we do a little crunch. That's why we got our core activated. Before we do a little crunch, we grab the leg loops in our hands. We return our feet. So try that. Yeah. Make sure they're free. So if their feet are hooked, get stuck. We're going to do another crunch. Bicep curl. Get the leg loops onto the elbow creases. Hands to prayer. So when you bend, you keep your hands at your heart. Press forward again. So happy good. This is the happy good.
This is
Press
happy
your
good?
forward. Okay. Press forward. Press forward. Amy, you're like really you're outdoing yourself. No, it's just, it's good. It's good. It's just like, damn. Yeah, just a little bit. Right in line with the body. Just a little bit more. Yeah, good. So it should feel good in the neck and shoulders. Intense. We all look funny upside down. Spit on myself. All right, so now we're going to open up for archer. So first we have to bring our knees in, get the leg loops on the outside. Open the hands, and then arch. So now the chest is pointing down, the head is pointing back. That's beautiful. Feet are relaxed, but they're together. Great stretch. Okay.
This is floating archery. Forgot the name.
Arch.
It's just archery.
Yeah, just archer. Okay, so what we're going to do from here is we're going to release the leg loops from our hands to the stream. Awesome. Come on down, walk your hands back behind you. This looks exactly like upside down dog, yeah? Upside down dog. We're going to go through upside down dog to pull forward into handstand. And I call this handstand scorpion. I'm actually going to push my feet towards my head and arch. This is going to be really intense on the back body. You guys feel that? Okay. So not too much, just enough to get the engagement. They're not going to touch. Then I come into wide straddle. Handstand. Pull your feet down towards the earth. So tuck. Yeah. And then let your feet rise. And then tuck. Get that tuck. If you don't get the tuck, we're not going to be able to do the other poses. And this is something that happens in the core. Okay? Nice. So keep the tuck. Once you get it, keep it. Nice. So even if we press back into upside down dog, we keep the tuck. Try pressing back and keep the tuck. Keep the tuck. Nice. Yeah. Keep the tuck. Tuck. Yeah. Totally different. We're isolating those two parts of the body. Really good. Pull forward. Wide straddle handstand. Place, I believe it's your right hand in the center. Okay, so look at my hips for a second. I'm going to twist. So I'm bringing my foot towards my hand. So we have to get that bend at the hip flexor to get the ollie. These are ollies. So just try it. Just play a little with the ollies.
I'm doing one-handed handstands. Ollie style.
One-handed handstands, wide straddle splits. It's amazing. Yeah, straight arms the whole time if you can, Deborah. Walk your hands back a little bit more to the back of the mat. Straight arms. So you keep your chest right over your hand and you twist. It's a tilt of the pelvis. Stay there. Let me see if I can, get a head rush. Help you a little. Okay. So come into the handstand wide straddle. Straight arms the whole time, okay? Okay, good. Walk your hands forward a little bit more.
That's intense.
Intense. Okay.
Great.
Just shift the pelvis. Yes. Good. Walk that hand to center. This one. Walk to the center. There you go. Yeah. Nice. So we're going to become break dancers. We're gonna swing first. Yeah. So you have to walk your hand to center and then twist. Yeah. Straight arms the whole time, honey. Okay, come on down if you need a break. Okay. That was straight. There you go.
Thanks,
Now.
Thanks, Danielle.
All right, take a little break. So those are the ollies. Is that fun?
Yeah,
Ollie
practice those every day.
Oops.
Wow.
Now, if you're not centered, when you go to touch your toes, you're going to spin around. And then we call those alley-oops. And that's totally okay. Oops.
Direct tie is so important.
Yeah, if you don't get the tuck, the foot is going to float away. Nice. Yeah. So you can look from there. Let's see if we can do it this direction. And it's totally okay to do the oops. So we come here and we twist. We're like, whoops. And that happens, but the swing has got us. So I get a twist. Oops. Oh, oops. So that's part of the fun.
I'm all back.
You'll stop feeling nauseous after a while. It's okay. It happens. We're going to go over that sequence one more time and then do the vinyasa flow.